Good morning, students. Today we will discuss the chapter of our environment. So first, we should know what are biodegradable waste. Biodegradable waste are those waste which can be broken down into non-poisonous substances by action of microbes. So these are those wastes which can be broken down into non-poisonous substances by action of microbes. Whereas non-biodegradable waste are those waste which cannot be broken down into harmless substances by action of microbes. So biodegradable can be broken down into harmless substances by action of microbes, whereas non-biodegradable waste cannot be broken down into harmless substances by action of microbes. As a result, biodegradable waste do not pollute the environment. Whereas non-biodegradable waste pollute the environment. Example of biodegradable waste are paper, food waste, and leather. Whereas example of non-biodegradable waste are glass, metals, polythene bags. Now let us study what is an ecosystem. Ecosystem is an area where living beings interact with environment. So an area where living beings interact with the environment is called ecosystem. There are two types of ecosystem: natural ecosystem and artificial ecosystem. Natural ecosystem is further of three types. Natural ecosystem is that ecosystem which occurs naturally, whereas artificial ecosystem is man-made ecosystem. Natural ecosystem can be aquatic, it can be terrestrial, or it can be pond ecosystem. Aquatic natural ecosystem is a river. Terrestrial means land ecosystem. Terrestrial land ecosystem is a rainforest. Whereas pond ecosystem is having no examples. Artificial or man-made ecosystem is aquarium. Now let us look at components of ecosystem. There are two types of component of ecosystem. First is biotic component and second is abiotic component. Biotic component includes living components, whereas abiotic component includes non-living components. Biotic components. Let us first understand about biotic components. The first biotic component is green plants. Green plants include the plants which can manufacture their food by the help of photosynthesis. By help of photosynthesis. They constitute the first trophic level in a food chain. Trophic levels are various steps in a food chain. The second biotic component of ecosystem is herbivores. Herbivores includes animals that eat plants. For example, deer, parrot, rabbits. These are constituting the second trophic level in a food chain. The third component of ecosystem are carnivores. Carnivores are those animals which eat herbivores. For example, tiger, snake, and lizards. They occupy the third trophic level in a food chain. The fourth component of the ecosystem biotic component are large carnivores. These are those animals which eat small carnivores. They include peacock and eagle. They constitute fourth trophic level in a food chain. So first we have the producers, that are the green plants, which are the first trophic level. Then we have the herbivores, which are also known as primary consumers. Which occupy the second trophic level. Then we have the carnivores, which are known as secondary consumers, which are the third trophic level. Then we have the large carnivores, which are also known as tertiary consumers, which are the fourth trophic level. So, if we look carefully, then we have the producers, which are the green plants which can manufacture their own food. They occupy the first trophic level. Then we have the herbivores which eat green plants. They are known as primary consumers. They occupy the second trophic level. Then we have the carnivores, which are known as secondary consumers. They occupy the third trophic level. And then we have the large carnivores, which are the tertiary consumer, and they occupy the fourth trophic level. Apart from the above biotic components, there are two other biotic components of ecosystem that are parasites. Parasites are those organisms which live on the body of other organism that is called as host. For example, roundworm living inside intestine of human. So here human would be the host. So this is the next biotic component of ecosystem. Further, we have one more biotic component that are decomposers. Decomposers are those organisms which break down complex compounds present in dead organisms into simpler substances. For example, bacteria and fungi. Decomposers clean up the environment. Now let us look at abiotic components of ecosystem. Abiotic component of ecosystem includes sunlight, which is necessary for the plant for doing the process of photosynthesis. Second is air. Air contains carbon dioxide, which is again necessary for photosynthesis. Third abiotic component is water. Water is required for various chemical reactions in the body of the plant as well as animal. In body of plant as well as animal. And the fourth abiotic component is temperature. The fifth abiotic component is soil. Soil is required for the growth of the plant as it contains water and minerals. So these were the biotic as well as abiotic component of a food of a ecosystem. Now let us look what is a food chain. Process of eating and being eaten is called food chain. For example, grass is eaten by grasshopper, which is eaten up by snake, and snake is eaten by hawk, which is a bird. So this process of eating and being eaten is called food chain. Various levels in a food chain are known as trophic levels. For example, grass is the first trophic level. Grasshopper, which is a herbivore, is the second trophic level. Snake, which is a carnivore, is the third trophic level. And hawk, which is a large carnivore, is the fourth trophic level in a food chain. Now let us understand 10% law of energy transfer. It states that only 10% energy is transferred from one trophic level to another. Let us understand this with the help of example. If this is the sun, by the energy of which plant makes food by the help of photosynthesis, and that plant is eaten by deer, which is further eaten by lion. So this is a food chain. Now if the sun transfers 1000 joules of energy to the plant, then plant will transfer only 100 joules of energy. Rest 900 joules will be lost in the environment in the form of heat. Now, deer will transfer only 10 joules of energy to the loin. Rest 90 joules of energy would be lost as heat. This is 10% law of energy transfer. Now let us understand significance of food chain. Food chain, it helps us to understand the interdependence of different organisms in an area. Interdependence of various organisms on each other in an area. This is the significance of food chain. Now let us understand what is food web. Food web is process of heating, is process of interconnection of various food chain. If we connect various food chain, what we get is a food web. Now, let us understand what is food pyramid. Food pyramid is graphical representation of various trophic levels in a food chain. For example, the lowest trophic level would be occupied by the plants, which are producers. Then it would be occupied by the herbivores, that are primary consumers. The next trophic level would be occupied by the secondary consumers, that are carnivores. And the last trophic level would be occupied by the tertiary consumer, that are large carnivore. So this is a food pyramid. There are three types of food pyramid. Pyramid of energy, pyramid of number, and pyramid of biomass. So rest of the chapter we will continue in the next video.